Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the SteelSeries Arctis 9. This is a wireless gaming headset from SteelSeries, and this is an unboxing and review video. I've been using this headset for a couple of weeks now, so I'm able to give you my thoughts on it and compare it, as I will be doing separately, with the Arctis Pro Wireless as well as other headsets I've tried recently. Now, this is a headset that's designed to work with PC and with PS4 and PS5. It's worth noting that it'll work with that as well. It will also work with Nintendo Switch, and because it has both wireless and Bluetooth connectivity and 3.5mm connection, as I'll show you a bit later on, it means it's really flexible headset. It's very comparable to the Arctis Pro Wireless, and I'll be doing a video separately on that and talking to you about why they're similar, but also the differences between them, what makes the Pro Wireless perhaps that bit more appealing for a number of small reasons. But the Arctis 9 Wireless, I'm happy to report, is a fantastic headset. Now, for reference, I am using the microphone for the voiceover for this video, so you can get an idea of what the quality of that is like, and at the end of the video I'll be showing you the controls within SteelSeries Engine 3, as well as the setup in Windows and how that's interesting and really useful if you're looking to do any sort of streaming with OBS Studio or OBS Streamlabs or anything like that. Now, this is a really good premium quality headset from SteelSeries that basically has exactly the same sort of design as all the other SteelSeries headsets. It has that good solid metal headband, a ski goggle weave band that goes over the top of it, the similar sort of style ear cups, the 40mm drivers, a decent frequency response, but it also has a number of really cool highlights to it that include this retractable microphone, dual connectivity options that mean you can connect two things at once, so you can use it in wireless mode using this wireless dongle that you can see here. Now, I've been using this on PC, so that's how I'm going to be talking to you about it, but I've also connected it to my phone, and I'll be talking to you about that as well. You can connect it to your phone and to your PC or PlayStation using the wireless dongle at the same time and get audio from both sources at the same time, and that's one of the reasons why the Arctis 9 is well worth considering, and that's a similar reason to what I thought was great on the Arctis Pro Wireless. This headset is fairly understated. There's no RGB lighting or anything overly garish about it. It has that traditional SteelSeries vibe to it, and it has a very understated look that's subtle and comfortable and wouldn't look too out of place if you want to take it out and about with you if you're a dare to go outside in 2020. But that does mean that you can wear it around the house and you can just use them as earphones, because it has that Bluetooth connectivity, and a 3.5mm jack on it that you'll see in a minute basically makes this headset really flexible and be able to use with a multitude of things, which is fantastic. But even if you're just using it for PC gaming, it's bonus in that way. Now, as you see, nice stretchable headband, and you'll note that ski goggle style strap on the top. It's worth noting that you can swap that out, but one thing you can't do that you can do with the Arctis Pro Wireless is you can't swap out the ear cups on the outside, so you can't change up the look and feel of this that you can do with the other premium SteelSeries headsets. It does have a retractable mic. It has a lot of the same sort of features. It has those air weave cushions on the inner ear cushions, and I do feel like they're slightly more comfortable. I don't know whether SteelSeries has changed those ear cushions of late, but I remember trying out some of the earlier Arctis lineup and finding them a bit uncomfortable. These ones seem to be improved. The dongle itself, fairly simple affair, but you'll see it basically plug that in with a USB cable that's slightly angled, which is awkward on PC, I'll tell you, but on console maybe it'll be a bit easier to use. And it has a micro USB cable for charging purposes. Now, this headset can get up to 20 hours of battery life out of it, but it is worth noting that you can't remove the batteries. Just take a quick brief moment to say a special thank you to my YouTube members Meaty Keyboard and Raw, who subscribe and have joined the channel and are help supporting me on a regular basis, and they get extra bonuses such as this little mention here. So click that join button to find out more if you're interested. Now, another thing that's really cool about this headset is that wireless dongle also has in and out jacks for a 3.5mm connection. You see line out and game in, which means you can plug in other sources. Now the way I've been using this is to plug in the mic monitoring connection for various external microphones. I've been testing another microphone that I'm doing a video on at the moment, and I'm running the 3.5mm cable out of that into that dongle, and then I can monitor the audio input through the mic and hear it in the headphones without having to plug into the headset itself, which means you still get that wireless freedom, but you have the connection to the mic to be able to do that, which is fantastic, and it's not something you see very often elsewhere. I've seen other headsets recently that are more expensive that offer the option for plugging a 3.5mm connection, even though they're wireless, but they don't have it separate, so you have to still plug in, which then obviously defeats the point in having a wireless headset. So to have the option to connect multiple things without actually having to plug them into the headset is fantastic, really good. One thing of note against this in comparison to like the Arctis Pro wireless, which I'll go into more depth in the other video, is batteries aren't removable. So although you can take off the ear cups on the inside, you cannot take off the outside, so you can't access the battery. So that means that you do need to plug this in to charge, and there's no easy charging capabilities. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, be sure to check out that other video where I go into a bit more depth about it. As you'll see, the ear cups can be removed, and these are the air weave material that I was talking about. It's kind of a fibery nonsense. They're quite comfortable. Previous iterations I felt were very scratchy. These ones certainly aren't as scratchy. They're quite nice. There's a good balance of noise cancellation without making your ears too hot. I also find the SteelSeries ear cups to be just about the right size for my ears. They might be verging on a bit too small for some people's, but I find them quite comfortable to wear all day long and into gaming and in the night, and it's just been a good experience, a good solid experience. To be honest, when I first went to check this out, I had a fairly good feeling about the Arctis 9 because I've done the Arctis 1, I did a previous version of the Arctis 7, I've done the Arctis Pro wireless, which has been a solid favourite for a long time, and I thought this was going to be a good one, and it still is. Fantastic headset. Basically SteelSeries just keep knocking out the same headsets but with minor improvements, and there's a good reason for it because they're a good solid bit of kit and a really nice design. Here you can see my Arctis Pro wireless, which I've had quite a while now. It gets regular use in and out of my drawers, and I find it great, and the reason I like it is because of that dual connectivity, the comfort, the long-term battery, and a decent microphone and really good sound. And that's something that the Arctis 9 has some of. It goes up to 20,000 Hz frequency response. It also has DTS Headphone X V2 surround sound. There are a number of customization options in terms of equalization and sound changes that you can make within the SteelSeries engine that I'll go into a bit later on, and basically the result is a really good sound no matter what you're doing, whether you're listening to music, watching films or playing games. I find the positional audio is good, the audio from your friends is good when they're talking in Discord, the voice chat and things like that are very good as well. Now this headset also has, as you'll see, a multitude of connection and buttons on the headset itself, making it really easy to do things. You'll see next to the power button there's a Bluetooth button, for example. You can press and hold that and connect to your phone, and I'll show you that process in a minute. On the ear cups you also have a volume wheel on one side and a game chat balance dial on the other, and that basically is a similar logic to previous SteelSeries headsets, and that allows you to dial between hearing more of your game and more of your friends nice and easily and quickly too. And it's nice to have that option on the ear cup to be able to quickly adjust not only the overall volume but also the volume of your friends or the volume of the game, because sometimes if your friends are getting a bit too chatty in the game, it's nice to be able to turn them down a bit so you can hear what's going on around you without having to shout at them to tell them to be quiet. The mic, as I said, is retractable, and there's a mic mute button on it that you can press, and then you get an audible cue within the ear cup, which is just a beep to let you know that it's muted, and you'll see a little light up on the microphone itself where it turns red to let you know it's muted as well. Here you can see what I was talking about. You've got the game chat wheel on the left, the volume one on the right, and the mic mute button just below that. One thing I will note that I have found frustrating during the use of this is that the headset has a 40-foot or 12-meter range in terms of wireless connectivity, and I've found that it's a bit frustrating because when you walk out of the room a certain distance, obviously that connection drops when it loses the signal from the dongle, which is pretty tiny but does a reasonable job of connecting you. The issue I have is that when it disconnects, it makes a beep in the ear cup, and then if you sort of step slightly back into range, it beeps again, and it beeps in and out constantly. So if you're like just on the peripheral vision of the wireless connection, it just beeps, which I find incredibly frustrating, really annoying. And then when you come back into the room, it reconnects, you've got the signal again, you can listen, it's fine. But that is a minor point and a frustration for me that makes me want to just take the headset off when I walk out of the room, whereas generally I prefer to keep the headset on, maybe listen to some music, or just have that convenience of sitting back down on my desk if I've just gone to get a drink and be able to get straight back into the audio or into the game. But that constant nag of the beeping is really frustrating for me. However, that's a minor complaint on what is otherwise a fantastic headset. Now, this headset comes with a pretty nifty looking headband, the ski goggle one, that you can adjust slightly. Now, this is something that you can swap out. I did say earlier on that you can't swap out the ear cups or the ear cup drivers on the outside of them, but you can switch them out on the Arctis Pro wireless, but you can switch out the headband, so you can buy accessories from SteelSeries for a number of different headbands, customize the look and feel a bit. Basically, it doesn't make any difference, it's just a slightly different look to it. This is an interesting design that SteelSeries has, that basically has this soft padding sitting on top of your head rather than like faux leather padding or anything like that, and I've found it pretty comfortable actually. It's surprising how comfortable it is, but it's not terribly easy to adjust in terms of the size. Now, another thing you can do is, because you can take those ear cups off, you can also purchase other ear cups from SteelSeries, and probably aftermarket ones as well. These are faux leather ones that SteelSeries sent that I had for the Arctis Pro wireless, that also fit on the Arctis 9 wireless. Basically offer a bit better noise cancellation due to that faux leather. Basically blocks out a bit more noise of the surrounding environment and allows you to concentrate more on the game. They're pretty cheap as well, they're not too expensive, and I'll link to those in the description so you can check them out. But you can get them from SteelSeries' website, and I believe you could probably get some off Amazon. They're fairly easy to fit. As you see, there's basically a lip around the outside of the drivers that you just hook these ear cups over, and then they sit on top quite nicely, and they offer a similar sort of internal padding. So the only change really is that you've gone faux leather. Now, here's what I was talking about earlier on, the power button and the Bluetooth button. You press and hold the power button and it turns on and automatically connects to the dongle when it's plugged in. Press and hold the Bluetooth button, that puts the Bluetooth on, and then you can pair with your phone. And if Bluetooth's on, it will automatically connect to your phone as well. And this is almost certainly a highlight because, as I said, you can have audio from your phone playing and audio from the PC at the same time. So if you're playing a game, for example, and you want to listen to Spotify, you can just get your phone out, connect that Bluetooth, and then play music through that while also still hearing your friends chatting and also still hearing the game audio. You don't have to leave the game in order to do it. You don't have to alt-tab back to Windows and open Spotify in there. It also means you can do all the controls from your phone, so it's really convenient. Obviously, also what that means is that connection is to your phone, to your headset. It's not to the dongle, so you can put the phone in your pocket and you can wander off out of the room and even out of the house with these on, and you've still got that connection with the Bluetooth and listen to music that way. Brilliant little thing. Obviously you could watch YouTube videos as well, maybe between games. If you've died, you could watch them on your phone, or when your mates are running around if you're playing a battle royale game and you've got to wait to be revived or whatever else. So you have plenty of different connection options there. 3.5mm connection on the dongle, as I showed you. Also have that directly on the headset if you want it to, so that is another double bonus. A really simple and easy setup process. One of the other things that I'll show you a bit later on is that you can go into the settings on the SteelSeries engine if you have a PC, and you can also tweak it so that when the headset turns on, Bluetooth automatically turns on as well. That isn't as default, obviously that's a battery saving measure, because if you're connected to wireless and Bluetooth at the same time all the time, you're going to run the battery out faster. But if you want that convenience to have both connected every time you turn the headset on, then you have that option, which is obviously great. And because it has Bluetooth connection, you also have Bluetooth calling capabilities, so you can answer the calls and talk to people using the microphone as well that way. So you can see just the sheer number of highlights to this headset, and it's a fantastically solid bit of kit. I've always been a fan of SteelSeries headsets, and this is one of the more premium ones, and it's definitely worth the money. Get a lot of brilliant connectivity options, a pretty decent microphone with side tone settings that I'll show you later on that you can hear good quality from, good sound, a nice solid build design, comfortable to wear, customizable with the headband and the ear cups, and overall nice looking headset as well. It's not too garish, it sits nicely, it wouldn't look out of place if you're outside the house, and yet it's obviously recognizable as a fantastic gaming headset as well. It can be worn for hours and hours without any hassle, and I'm a big fan of it. Now we dive into the SteelSeries engine software. You'll see you have a number of different options here within the configuration. You can change between all sorts of things. You can turn your DTS Headphone X V2 on and off here with ease, and you can also go between various sound profiles that include cinema mode, studio and game, and you can also change stereo profiles between small and large room and adjust equalizer settings too. You can see there are various different presets including flat, bass boost, reference and smile, and you can customize them yourself. You can also adjust the mic volume and change the side tone level. Side tone is how much of your own voice you're hearing within the headset, so if you don't like that you can turn it down. I personally like a bit of it so I can hear myself, because the headsets do block out quite a bit of noise. In the settings you'll note that you can also set it to turn off when it's inactive after a certain amount of time, and you can do that thing that I was talking about earlier where you can turn the Bluetooth on automatically. Now another thing that's worth showing is if you're on PC, the way the sound settings work. So if you open up Windows sound settings, you'll see you have a choice of output devices. Please excuse the sheer number of devices I have here, but you have two choices when it comes to the headset output. You have game and you have chat. Now I'm going to select game as my default one, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then in the microphone settings you obviously only have one, and that is the mic itself, and that again is marked as a chat microphone. Now where this becomes interesting is if you are looking to do something like streaming, as I said before, and you want to use OBS Studio. If you go into the settings for OBS Studio and you go into your audio settings, you'll see that I've set game as the desktop audio, and then as a secondary desktop audio I've set chat, and then the mic, obviously pick your microphone from there as well. That obviously gives us three different audio inputs in the audio mixer. But then what you can do is if you go into Discord, where you have your audio when you're chatting with your friends, you go into the voice settings, you select your input is obviously your chat microphone with the Arctis 9, and then your output is chat again. So we've got the chat on the headset, and you can see that earphone chat, and you select that. Now what that happens is when the audio comes out from your friends, that goes into the secondary audio in the audio mixer. You have your mic obviously separated out, and then the game audio goes into the desktop audio, and that's where your main game audio goes. And that means that you can adjust it within the mixer, and you can turn your friends down and make sure if you're streaming that you're heard more prominently than your friends are, and adjust them in accordance with how loud or how quiet they are. Obviously you can change their volume in Discord, but this allows you to have that granular control in your streaming and recording efforts. That's a real highlight of this headset, something that also appears on the Astro A50 and on the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless, but it's a really nice setup in that way. In advanced device property settings you'll also see you can do other things. Obviously you can adjust the levels that you can do anyway, but you'll see it goes up to 48 Hz DVD quality in terms of the sample rate that's coming out of the microphone. I'm going to leave all the specifications of the headset in the description below, as well as links and everything else you need. But hopefully you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching.
This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you found it useful, interesting, hilarious, or all of the above. Be sure to check out the description for other information you might find interesting, and subscribe and watch these other videos as well that I think might be useful to you, and have a great life.